guys, it's Tech Netwit. I'm back here and we're in the wonderful Snow's house. I got the mini Sonoff Mini Sonoff, this wonderful freaking cool device. This thing is it's mini, so you can have, if you got a light switch, you can put it behind the wall. I'm gonna unbox this thing, kind of explain to you what uses this has. So you can put this on a regular light switch and still control the light switch from there. Pretty much turn a dumb switch into a smart switch. And the other cool little thing it has hidden under its dress is a beautiful two-way and three-way wireability. Now this video is not going to be showing you how to do two or three-way wireability. It is going to show you how to do a single wall outlet switch with this guy tied in. We will do the Sonoff app like I normally do, get it programmed in, control the light circuit, and then you also have the light switch, and then we'll put it in the wall. I will have a two and a three-way video coming up with this guy. That'll be in the future, so I want to kind of go over some of these tools we have and some safety before we get started, but let me spill this out and then I'll start with the tool and safety brief. So you get, of course, your Sonoff Mini. The cool thing is, if you have you know, most of the metal boxes, you can plug this guy out of the metal box and it'll get reception. So that's something you probably want to do. There's a way you can do it, but you pop one of the knockouts open a little bit, pop this guy out, and then you're ready to go. So it comes with a DIY mode jumper. We're not going to be needing that right now. Eventually I will flash this guy and we will have a video for that. Instructions that come in about 10 different languages. And of course the QC Pass guy. This guy's wonderful. A lot of Sonoff devices used to have some issues through the grapevine. They don't anymore. So that's wonderful. Sonoff did good by their customers and brought up their quality. Power's off right now. The breakers are off. I will turn them on to do some testing. You got to have a working meter, so first test the meter and a working outlet before you ever do anything else with the meter. Have a second meter. If that meter's acting weird, you can test on top of testing. If you really want to be safe, you can have these isolated tools. These guys right here. This is if you accidentally go into a circuit and it's still live, you don't get electrocuted. Of course, some Milwaukee drills, some Super 33. I always wrap my switches when I'm done. You want to have Super 33 or some cheap electrical tape. Super 33 is going to always hold up. This stuff is expensive, but it's worth it. Of course, a Milwaukee bit kit. That's going to give me the bits to do and take all this stuff apart. Of course, wire snips or side cutters. Needle nose / wire strippers. Regular hand screwdriver, 10-in-1, and of course a Milwaukee fastback. If you don't feel comfortable with Romex and you're new to this, get one of the $2-3 cheap Romex splicers. They look kind of weird and they have like a little pointed blade. It's not very sharp and you squeeze down and pull. My other video that I have an outlet / camera install, I talk about it and it's in there. And of course a second tester. So that's pretty much all the tools you would need to do this job. Oh, and some wire. You want to either have some 12-2 or 14-2 extra wire to, because we're gonna have to take wire from the switch to the Mini, and you guys will see this in the video upcoming here in a little bit. And I think that's about it. So give me a couple minutes and I'll get set up, and then we will get over to the test wall and get everything configured. Alright guys, I'm back here with the test wall. We're going to do a mini install on the test wall. First thing we're going to do is take this switch apart to make sure we know what line goes to where, and we're going to mark it so we remember that we have power incoming so we can wire the Mini correctly. So on the back of this guy, we got to make sure that we get the in and all that stuff right. I will put a diagram up here of how I'm doing this because it's going to be very hard for you to see exactly where wires go for what. You'll get the general idea. I will try to put diagrams up to show you guys kind of what I'm doing in detail so you get even more. So the first thing we're going to do, we don't need this guy yet, but we do need a drill or a screwdriver, is take this wall plate off. And of course, having a drill case open is going to be really nice, so you can throw your screws in and they don't get lost. So set that guy aside. And then of course we have two switches in here. One that controls this light. This is the light that the Sonoff Mini will be controlling. So I'm going to have to switch bits here over to a Phillips. I'm just talking out loud, guys, sorry. Don't mind me. I probably should be wearing safety glasses. Safety first, right? Alright, so this is a live switch. So, get this guy out of here. Got a ground wire that wants to get stuck. As I think I zapped myself. These are hot, and which one of these are cold? So how we do that is this is going to be grounded out to neutral in the not in here, but way downstairs in the sub panel. So I can trace that back. So I'm going to grab my multimeter and I'm going to set this to AC voltage. So I'll kind of show you guys here. Your multimeter might be different, or you can go on Amazon and pick the exact same one up. It's up to you. A couple good brands are Kellen's a good brand, Fluke's a good brand. There's I would stay away from like Harbor Freight multimeters. Like this is something you got to trust your life with. So of course it's going to be the little squiggly line. Some meters will have an auto range and they'll do AC and DC. If you look on here, it's hard to see. But on this corner right here, there's a squiggly line. You can hit the select and that'll change it to DC. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my one of my leads and I'm just going to ground it out right here. I grounded it out to that thing and I'm going to get my pointy lead and I'm going to touch this top one. The light's on right now, so I should see 120. So I see 120 right now. So I'm going to shut the switch off. If I test that line again, I don't see 120. So this line is going to the actual switch. And then if this switch is wired correctly like I think it is and like I did, this should have power, meaning it's coming from the breaker. So this should be hot. So it should show 120, and it does. So what we're going to do, yes, it's black and white, but I'm going to put a piece of tape on this guy just so I remember that is our hot leg. Because it's going to matter when we go into the Sonoff Mini, you have line in and line out. This is going to be line in, this is going to be line out. And then of course, I will talk more about the rest of this once we get to that portion of the video. So I'm going to grab a piece of electrical tape here, my favorite, Super 33, and we are going to tape this wire. If I can get it off here. Don't need a big piece, just to delineate, because this could be two black wires, it could be two white wires. I mean, that's uncommon, but it is possible. So now that wire is marked. Now our breaker's still on. So I'm going to go downstairs and turn the breaker off pretendly. I got my breaker box right here. So I'm going downstairs, and then I'm going to, is that my light? No, it's not. It's the wrong breaker. There we go. That's the right one. Now, I can see that the light's off, but just for safety means, I'm going to grab my multimeter, I'm going to re-ground it back out properly, and then I'm going to check it, just to be a safety craze bot. So I see nothing, I see like 2.5 volts, so that means it's off. Come up here, check my light circuit, make sure there's no residual voltage. That's good, and we are good to proceed to the next step. So now we're going to remove the switch off there. First thing with these type of switches, the best part is to take the ground off when it's looped around like this. Get this out of your way. And you got to remember there might be another switch that's hot in here. So if this guy is up here, move it straight up into the air like that, and then you'll keep it away from other stuff. Look into the box, make sure it's not going to touch the lugs. I don't have tape on these like I should. I usually do, but I don't. So now I'm going to go and dewire these two guys. There we go. We're still going to use this. This is still going to control our outlet. We're just putting a smart device in between this switch and that light. So I can say, hey, blah, 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 or Lexi, turn my stuff on, and click, the light goes on. So that's what we're going to use some of this extra wire for, is doing wiring this guy back in there. So, of course, I'm going to move these guys up and out of the way for right now, because we need a neutral. We don't have a neutral here. Yes, this is a white line, but this is our power to our light circuit. This is our power from our breaker. So right now, my neutral's tucked behind this switch, so this switch has to come out. Yours might be like this, it might not. But I would say, because I didn't put electrical tape on here, let's do the right thing and bring this up to my code. It's not technically code to put tape on it, but that's my code that I would like to call it. So just for laughter's sakes, I'm going to put some tape on here. And that way, if I accidentally touch these lugs, because I'm talking to you guys and I'm not paying attention or whatever, and I usually do 2 wraps around it, and then on the side that doesn't have the lugs, snap the tape. Might look like I was kind of rough with it, but who's going to see it? It's going to be in the wall. So as long as it holds there and does its job of protecting the leads to where you can't touch them, you're good. So you see this ground wire's all getting all screwed up. We're just going to push this out of our way. And here's our neutral wire for this circuit. This is code. Yes, it's not being looped because this light circuit's doing the same thing as this is. It's just looping around to the switch. One side's power, one side's to the outlet. So I just have this on here to make minimum code as like a wire nut. You have to terminate these. So pretend that this is a wire nut. So I'm going to take this guy off, put another neutral on here. So I'm going to grab a neutral, strip it real quick. With my Milwaukee, I think these are 10-in-1s. And of course you don't need a ton of wire stripped, just about that much. So, sorry, I'm looking up at the camera to make sure you can see it. Crack that guy in there. Come and grab this guy. Tug test, that's good. So this is our neutral switch to the Sonoff, or not switch, neutral wire to the Sonoff. Of course, when you strip this guy for the Sonoff, you don't need a ton stripped. It's a that might actually be too much right there. If you guys see that, that might be too much wire. So first thing I'm going to do is bring the Sonoff here. And I'm gonna hook them up. So the black line is gonna go line in, this guy right here, but this is way too long. So I'm gonna straighten this lug out, and then I'm gonna clip off to where I leave maybe just 1/8 of an inch of wire. And I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna put this in line in. So that's in line in, and I'm gonna go in first. I need to get a screwdriver, and I'm gonna use my electrically isolated guys because I have a real small flat head that I can use. Double check that I'm going in the line in. So that's line in. Get this guy, I'm not going to Superman this one down. I'm just going to get this snug and then go a little bit past snug. Pull test, it's good. There's our Wi-Fi antenna. I'm going to bring our neutral over, and this is our outside of our circuit. So this is where the needle nose comes in, and if you have loops on your wires, you could straighten the loops up and then cut it, and then you don't have to restrip it. I mean, that's about how much you need, maybe a little bit more. Stick that in there and test it. We'll see really quick. Yeah, needs just a tad bit more. So just be careful when you're stripping these. You don't want excess copper hanging about with these guys. And that goes in there and that looks nice and neat. So I'm going to hold that with one hand with pressure on for my fingers and tighten that down. This is line out. So this used to go to the switch. So our power side goes to line in, and our light side that is getting power is going line out. But there's no neutral in here. So we have to bring this guy around, and we need to go to neutral in, or N in. And then that's where this guy's going to go to. Is he's going to go to N in. I'm going to come here and tighten this up. Not super, I will check them all at the end and tighten them up again. I will do a tug test. It's not coming out. All right. So now, technically this will power up, and if you were to sync this to the Wi-Fi, it would work. But what about our switch? We still got to wire that in. So I'm going to take a piece of wire here. I can do that. Sorry, I make myself look goofy. I don't need the ground. I get rid of the ground. And I don't need the second hot, so I get rid of that. I just need these two guys. So I'm going to come in. I'm actually going to kind of prepare these. So I want to put a loop in them just so that I have that extra wire in there So if I'm pushing that little guy into the back there, I can push and pull, and this will get larger and smaller. So if I push this guy into the back of there and it's attached to a switch and I have it out, the switch is going to be like that. And then when I push it back in, it's going to do that. So I already set up a loop in this guy. So what I'll probably do is actually curve these guys around because they're going to go in the back of here. So I'm going to do something like that. But first I got to strip these. So I prepped them and then you strip them. So once I go to the switch, which is going to probably be about a little bit under 1/2 of an inch stripped. And that's your 1/2 inch stripped. And then you're going to come here and you need, like, I don't want to say 1/8, maybe a little bit over 1/8 of an inch. That's probably going to be too much. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. And this doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you put this in here. White could be on the left or on the right. So however you have these arranged, just put them in there like that. So I'm going to come here, hold this guy like this. I'm going to come and get these in here. Make sure they're stripped enough. Oh. Alright. Push that guy in there. Keep pressure on both. Hold the device with another finger. Kind of doing like a Stretch Armstrong thing here. I need a third arm. Good. Tug test, tug test. Alright, we're almost done here. So the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to go across all these terminals and I want to make sure they're nice and snug. Put a good amount of pressure down and turn past what I just tightened. That one's pretty loose. And so is that one. So now they are like really in there. So what we can do, we don't need this neutral wire anymore. Curl it in here and get these so they kind of fit in here because they're going to have to go towards the back of the switch. So I'm just curling all these wires so they fit into here. We're still going to need the ground. So I'm going to bury this neutral in the back of the box because that's the longest wire. Then our second longest is our circuit incoming from the old switch. Get that pushed in there. This will help you when you're closing up. This is a lot of mistakes newbies will make. They won't do stuff like this. Prepping your wire when it's going inside will make a world of difference. So I'm going to pop one of these tabs up here. You guys really can't see it. I don't know if the top camera, yeah, the top camera can see my finger. I'm going to pop one of these open. I'm going to take my needle nose. I'm going to come from one of the sides. Nope, that's not going to work. I just don't have the right angle. Let's see if I can do this with a screwdriver. And that just popped that. I don't want it broken. I just want to be able to stick this guy out. So get these arranged in here to where this is not in the way of any of the switches. So I'm going to stick this guy up and out of the switch. Now, technically I just broke code because I made a hole, so I'm going to reclose this guy up enough to where it's not like super pinching on the wire. So the wire can move back and forth freely still, but enough to where it closes that gap and you don't have a big opening for, electric, the little sparkies to get out and escape, the little pixies. You don't want them to escape this metal box. So, of course, this box has probably got way too much crap in it already. So I'm just pushing stuff back there, and you know what? This is not going to work. Hopefully you have a deep enough and a big enough box to get all this stuff in here. So I'm going to pull some of this stuff out. We got a lot of ground in here, and I just ripped this guy out of there. That's fine. We got ground that's in the way. Get this ground out of the way. Get some of these wire nuts. Get these other wires pushed to the back. Get this guy pushed way to the back. Make sure there's no wire nuts out of the way. This is kind of the finesse part of doing electrical stuff. You want everything in here nice and neat and tight, but you don't want it all crammed up to where your wire's getting, over bent. Because then you're going to create a heated circuit, which is going to be bad. So I just want to make sure I have these. All right, this is where the needle nose comes in. You can start moving wires out of your way, mostly grounds. I'm really pressing because I need to make room for this little guy. So that should be about enough right there. If you see that, that's about it. So that's in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this guy around because this got to go to the other switch. And I'm going to get the Sonoff in there. And then I know I got to come to the right side over here, get my wires prepared, stick this guy back out so we get good Wi-Fi reception. There's also double-sided sticky tape on this, so if you can get your hands in here, you will be able to stick it to the wall or the side of a box. So I mean, if you want to, you can get a plastic insert that'll go in here, and that'll be code. They're a little black or gray or blue, and then you can stick your finger up in here and stick this on the wall like that. I'm not going to do that because this is a temporary install. And then I'm going to get this switch in here next, but I got to make sure that the Sonoff is in there enough. And the thing we probably should do before I lock this thing in there is make sure we can test it and make sure it's on the Wi-Fi. So I'm going to hook up my switch, turn the breaker back on, make sure it clicks on and off. So these type of switches aren't the push-ins, but they are kind of similar. They have like I don't know, I really like these brand switches. Really easy, you don't have to make a loop. You just make sure you strip the wire long enough. And it's Levitron. Yeah, I don't know. But I like the way that they have that configured. It is really nice. So now it's all together. Don't touch these lugs. We're going to grab some Super 33 and we're going to wrap it around this guy. And you got to be careful of your ground lug because it's easy to wrap around your ground lug and then you don't have a way to ground it. Now technically by code, since this one's already grounded and I don't have the bumpers on the back of or little washers on the back of these guys, I don't have to ground it. I could leave this off. But just because I'm super duper anal, I'm gonna make sure it's grounded. And that is where we are at, folks. So I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna put this switch back in here. You know what, I'm not gonna jinx myself. Let's turn the power back on. So go downstairs, hit the breaker, and then we'll test our light. Light switch works. You can see the Sonoff is blinking. Nice blue and red color, so I'm guessing it's ready to be paired with its wonderful Galaxy phone. And then I think we're good. So I'm gonna put it away, and that is pretty much the end of this install. Shut the lights off, and let's put the switches back. Yeah, having magnetic bits are really nice. Some brands don't come magnetic, and you would have dropped this screw about 3 times by now. Comes in handy when you need that third arm and you just can't grow it. Let's come over a tab. Come on. And next time we do this, I need to clamp this wall because I've pushed it off twice. So that's in there. We just got to make sure that we have enough room for the next switch. Of course, we ran downstairs, turned the breaker off. We're going to get the switch back in here. And you know what? I'm not going to ground this guy because this is just too much hassle. I can get away with it. If I had more room, I would. So right now, I'm coiling the wire up so when it goes in here, it doesn't do a super bend. And there we go. That is pretty much the install finished, and that's what the Mini's good. The Mini is good for doing exactly what we're doing. It has about 10 different uses. It is an awesome Sonoff device. I mean, if you look at it versus the basic and stuff like that where you cut the line, it is very nice, but certain applications, it's just very nice to have it on the actual device. You know, make a dumb device smart. But then you got some outlets that you really still want your switches, and that's kind of important. So this type of install, we retain this switch, and it's now smart. It's now controllable. So I'm going to test to make sure nothing came apart. We're still working. Of course, you're going to be either going to your basement or your panel or wherever it is outside. It's all working. So I'm going to put the plate back on, and we are pretty much at the point of pairing. So, our electrical tape. Just cleaning up here, guys, so don't mind me. Looking for my screws. And there we go. We're gonna have to switch to our flathead. But I don't know. I had a roommate, and he's like, "Why don't you like the plastic boxes?" And I said to him, "I like these because if you ever have a fire or something smoldering in there, this will protect you a lot more than a cheap plastic box will." I mean, yes, the plastic is fire rated and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I mean, think about it. That wire can get up to 900 degrees if it's shorting, and the breaker sticks or something like that. How long do you think the plastic box is going to last before that starts your house on fire versus a metal box? So if you can, put the metal boxes in as much as possible. I know the new house code, they love those plastic boxes. The other thing is, if you're doing wiring and you go to change it later, you can literally pull the wire through the box. And those little tabs that hold the wire, they're not very good at retaining the actual wires and stuff like that. So we're gonna put the plate back on here. Make this nice and neat. Oh, that's too tight. You don't want to work with me today, dude. Usually I can get these to exactly how I want them and make them look nice and neat. And there we go. Now we can go back on, turn the breaker on, and then now it's off to pretty much pairing your new Sonoff Mini. Double check that it's working, it is. So guys, I am going to open up the app here. There we go, I'm connected to my Wi-Fi. Go back to your app. Yeah, it's important to have a Wi-Fi connection. Gonna go ahead and you're gonna type in your Wi-Fi name and your SSID password or your Wi-Fi password. You're gonna hit next. It's gonna say connecting, and of course, we are now just waiting to find our wonderful Sonoff Mini. I guess. So, gonna come here and name this test wall, and there we go. So let's do our test. It now works. Wonderful, guys. That's pretty much the end of it. It's working, and the switch is still working. So guys, this is Tech Nitwit. I really appreciate all the subscribers. I think I'm up to 21, 22 now. But thank you for watching, and this is Tech Nitwit, guys. I'm out. Hey guys, it's Tech Nitwit here. Make sure you guys subscribe and like and hit that bell. Thanks.